All right, everyone, here we go with an energy weather update. You know what? I haven't done a shuffle or a cut yet. I'm going to do that right now because the energies, I'll tell you, the energies right now are fluctuating. They're going around and around. These are the energies that we're living in. The environmental energies is what we're pulling on. It's like your horoscope, but it's not a horoscope, right? We pull on the core energies here. We do talk about some of the astrology, though. And I will tell you, it is, I would say, the Thanksgiving week here in the U.S., the holiday week, is posing a bit of a problem. There's a bit of a paradox within the energy. Energy after the cut, I get that. Not because of arguments or anything like that. You know, I mean, it's more a case of there's a crossroads that seems to be forming in the energy. Where am I going next? Deep questions, right? Where am I going next? And there's this need for solitude within it, which is strange. It doesn't fit with the baseline Sagittarius season party gregarious energy, right, of Sagittarius. I get it. It doesn't really fit with that, and it certainly doesn't fit with a holiday where you got to sit around with a bunch of people, you know. But if you're here in the U.S. anyway, but I don't know. I just wanted to pull on the energy cold. That's the gist of it. All right. So this energy update kind of stretches right through till about the 20. I'm going to say the 29th, straight through the week. I mean, I can run it up to December 1st. I'm not a fucking Time Lord. It'll affect all of you at different times, right? It's a general reading. It may or may not resonate with you, but if the title brought you in here, you're here for a reason. This reading is timeless. Whenever you find it, you're meant to find it. All right, let's see. Let's see what the cards have to say. It's the King of Wands. It's very interesting. You've got somebody attached to you here. That might annoy you. It could be me, I don't know. But you know, you've got somebody attached to you here that might annoy you. Just in the sense that it's not really what I said in the Uranus reading about somebody wants to be right or something like that. It's more somebody wants to show off for you. And you just want to be, I feel like on one side of the energy, I'm assuming it's you, it's the static energy that's watching. The energy I'm pulling on is the static energy. That energy seems to want to just sort of keep things low-key, be alone, doesn't want the big ballroom party, wants to chill. And if that hasn't hit you yet, you'll be surprised it might. That energy is set to, most of the astrologers would probably set that energy to set in starting around the 25th through the 28th, something like that, you know. But this energy here wants to show off. It wants to impress you. And I don't think you're in the mood to be impressed. You're at kind of a crossroads of some kind. Or you will be. We're deciding what direction we're going. We're deciding a little bit of what we believe in, right? We're in the mustard rhino energy right now. The energetic new year has already passed. We're in the mustard rhino energy. That mustard rhino talks about things that we carpet swept, things that we let ourselves believe and all of that. They come charging at you. You got to make a choice, you know. And we're sort of at that, and it's going to require some solitude to figure it out, you know. So anyway, that's where we're at right there with that. Let's see. This will be crossing the center card I pull. The World. Yeah, well, and the yeah. I mean, I could take this literally. I wish this fucker would just shut up. I'm trying to think. It's a little of that, a little bit, but it's deeper than that. But that's the fun read. These are all major. These are fucking huge cards, you guys. These are huge. I mean, I don't even. Nine of Pentacles is even huge here. It doesn't matter what this is. The whole read's major arcana. These are the two cards that are important. This one sort of accentuates this one. But it is kind of funny that it does sort of say, I wish this fucker would shut up. I'd like to be by myself with the Nine of Pentacles here, a card of independence. But you're taking a look around you. I'm going to say, whether you're in the U.S. or not, and it's Thanksgiving for you, you're taking a look at the people around you. It's much easier if it's a holiday and they're all surrounding you. You're taking a look at the people around you and deciding who's staying and who's going, who you're going to keep in touch with and who you're not. You're making some changes, okay? There are changes happening. You're deciding on big changes. I'm going to offer you a piece of advice. I'm going to say, make those. I know you'd love to tell this fucker to shut the fuck up, showboating and all that kind of stuff. But I would like to say, keep all your plans, all your decisions, all the things you're deciding to yourself for now. All right? I would wait a little bit. I would wait till Jupiter goes direct, to be honest with you. Remember, don't forget, as we move in and you start reading my December write-up and we move through the months, don't forget about the Jupiter retrograde bubble that I wrote about in my November blog write-up. I would read that November blog write-up again before you read the December write-up. But that's what I would do. But anyway, it'll always be there in the monthly write-up archives in the blog. But don't forget about that Jupiter retrograde bubble. What you do in that bubble matters, right? Make plans in that bubble. Chill out in that bubble. I wouldn't voice anything outward. Why? Why wouldn't I voice anything outward here? Well, in this context, you're going to look like the asshole if you do. You're going to look like the bad guy. So why bother, right? Let's see where we go. Let's pull on the death card. So that's kind of what's going on. If I'm to sum it up, you're at a bit of a crossroads, and you'd like to be alone to process it, but you don't get to be for some reason. The energies won't leave you alone. People won't leave you alone. Animals won't leave you alone. You got critters. If you go take a hike in the woods to be alone, you'll have critters coming up to you, right? You know, just getting in the way, hissing at you for no apparent reason. It might, seriously, it wouldn't surprise me, right? I've had energies like this happen. You know, I want to be alone. I remember one time it happened where there was an energy like this. It was a while ago, and I went out for a walk, and I came back, and my favorite raccoon was here in the front yard. And sometimes she don't want to let me in. She takes sort of the property. I was just trying to go home and chill out, and she was having none of it. Standing up on her hind legs, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, fucking hell. I'm just trying to get in the front door, right? This is that kind of energy. You're at a crossroads, be there. Process internally. Right? You might need to just sort of go through the motions maybe for the holiday, if you're having the Thanksgiving holiday. I'm not sure. Let's see where we're at. But whatever you're processing is best done in solitude, I would say. It's crossed by the Six of Swords. It has a lot to do with what I talked about. This King of Wands has a little, not a lot, but a little to do with what I talked about in the other day's Uranus reading. I believe that. With the Six of Swords coming out here, yeah. Also, on the humorous read, if this fucker would shut up, I could think a lot easier, right? I mean, I'm just saying, you know. Actually, or this fucker, because they're being such an asshole, is making my decisions easy. You know, well, right there's one for the cutout column, you know, piece of cake. Done. I always find it's easier, right? In those types of situations. The Two of Wands. See what I'm saying? You're making plans. You're deciding where you're going. I don't think anybody's going anywhere, per se. I mean, you might travel, but I'm saying, on the grand scale, I don't think anybody's going anywhere, quote unquote, until after Jupiter goes direct. This is a big deal. I wrote about it a lot. I've talked about it a lot. This year's Jupiter retrograde bubble is fucking huge. It's very important. It's not always this important, all right? But it really is. And things move quickly as soon as it goes direct. Which means if you didn't do anything in it, or you did everything wrong, or whatever, it's not your fault. But, you know, most people will, and then they'll get left behind really fast. Yeah, things happen fast here. What's the bridge? Yeah, the Five of Swords. Again, if you try to act prematurely, if you try to act too quickly, you stab yourself in the foot here. If you open your mouth, if you become a bit of a hothead, you stab yourself in the foot here. Just, again, be a little bit self-contained. There's something here. You're deciding what you're taking with you into new energy. Now, that's going to mean something different for all of you, this new energy. It's going to mean something different. It doesn't necessarily mean you're moving into a whole new world where all of a sudden rainbows are different colors and there's unicorns and all this kind of stuff. It just means your vibe is changing. The way you approach life is changing a little bit. All right, let's see what that is. Let's see what that's about. Everybody's at a bit of a crossroads right now. It's a planning stage. If you act too quickly, you lose. Let the universe drive. And don't let your ego drive. As that King of Wands relates to you, you're not in control of anything. Once you realize that, you'll be fine. You get to make some decisions, but you got to make decisions based on paths that are already laid out before you. All the roads have already been paved. It's just like with your car. You don't get, well, I wish there was a road here. Let me build one, right? I mean, okay, maybe if you live in certain areas of the country, you could do that, right? Go get Dad's dump truck. Let's go put some gravel down. You know, I mean, but generally speaking, if you get in your car and you go for a ride, you're taking the roads that are already there. You know, you're deciding which way to go to a point. Right. All right. Here we go. The World. These are big cards. That's why I point that out. It's the most powerful card I could pull right here. The World that I'm pulling on. And the Death card is the center of this reading. You don't get to decide that either. See where we go. See where we're at. Okay. Why is the World here? The Page of Pentacles. Wow. The Page of Pentacles. The student. Interesting. What's on top? The Two of Pentacles, yeah. And why is that here? The Ten of Wands, yeah. And Karma, yeah. Wow, these are big cards. God, Source, the Universe itself, Judgment. Okay, I'm going to keep this in the format of an energetic weather update. Okay, it's hard to do because I know what I want to say, but I'm going to keep it in the format of talking about the surrounding energies for the general audience watching. It is an energy of paradoxes. It's just an energy of you want to be alone, but there's a lot going on, and it's hard to resist what's going on, and it's hard to this and that. It's really difficult to sit still. It's going to be a very frustrating sort of time. All right. Your best bet is to just remember, put your ego down, and remember that you're not driving. I would love to spend this reading talking about this energy that's attached to you, but I think you can get the gist of this energy that's attached to you from the Uranus reading. I think it's better to talk about how this is reflecting off of you, right? And it's this need to control things, this idea that you're making the decisions, you're doing the calls, you get to decide. No, shit's just going to happen to you in this energy, and it might be very frustrating. Try to remain self-contained. You don't need to make any decisions right now. You're at a crossroads, and you're deciding where to go, and that can only be done in solitude. Now, does that mean you're by yourself? I don't think you're going to get a whole lot of by yourself. I think you'd like by yourself time, but I don't think you're going to get too much of it, most of you. If you do, God bless you, right? But it can be self-contained inside. You're alone inside if you want to be, right? You could shut the door. Right? All right. Nine of Pentacles. I'm curious here. Wow. Yeah, it's sort of like one of those, if I'm to sum this up, it's one of those moments you're just trying to think, and then everybody's been quiet to you all day. It's been a quiet day. You finally sit down, you get something to drink, you got a nice umbrella drink, and you're like, I'm ready to relax. And then all of a sudden, the phone rings, people show up. It's like, what the fuck? Where did all this come from? You know, it's a bit of that. It's a bit like my run this morning, actually, strangely enough, now that I think about it. Normally, we run pretty early. Like, 4:30, 5 a.m. There's nobody out. There's nobody on the road. There's nothing. I mean, we could run naked. Nobody would fucking know. Literally. And this morning, we come around the corner. There's another lady running with a dog, and she's going the same speed we are, so we're stuck with her for a while. I'm like, who the fuck is this? Yeah, I think she heard me say that because my wife's like, you're louder than you think you are. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then there's cars everywhere coming around the corner doing this, and people, it was like total chaos. It's like usually it's a very peaceful, quiet run. What the fuck happened? I think my run is a great metaphor. This morning's run is a great metaphor for this energy. What's going on? All right. There was also another runner that went by us. We saw two other runners. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. All right. All right, here we go. Probably because it's a holiday week. It's got something to do with it. But then we've run on holiday weeks before. It's not our first year doing it. I mean, we've been doing it for many years. No, it's just the energy. It's causing that. All right, here we go. Nine of Pentacles, crossed by the Chariot. There's a void here between the two. Like the energy would indicate you feel like there's going to be a moment within this energy sometime this week where you decide I might be better off going it myself. I might be better off being a lone wolf kind of a thing. That energy is going to come up, that topic's going to come up in my December write-up, which should be up in the next day or so, because on Thanksgiving Day, I'm going to be pulling you a monthly overview for December. All right? So, hey, why not give everybody something to watch besides football? But you should read the December write-up, because that comes up. There's a void attached to that, though. I mean, it's sort of like, if I'm to give an example of what I'm trying to say, please just catch my drift, don't take me literally, okay? You say the words, maybe I should just go it alone. I should be like Lone Wolf McQuaid, right? Just go it alone. I don't need no partner, right? That kind of a thing. And as the words are coming out of your mouth, you don't even fucking believe it. They're like echoing out of nowhere. It's like, you know, you hope nobody heard, you know, kind of a thing. And I don't think anybody did. I think they're just flowing into a void. I don't know why. We'll find out. What's on top? The sun. I think I should just go it alone. Look at that. He's by himself on the horse. He's naked outside. Nobody will know. Nobody's around, right? Yeah. The Three of Wands. Again, it just keeps saying the same thing. Why is that here? The Three of Wands. You want to move in your own direction. And you only want people with you that want to go in that direction. You don't want any complainers in the back seat. You don't want any nonsense. You just want to move forward. The bridging energy is the world, and this is all red with the world. I mean, I read the energy first and I throw the cards. That's what's here. Don't worry about it. What's my point? My point is you can say anything you want over here. Nobody's going to hear you. You could bounce things. Let's assume for a moment that you're alone in a room. All right? You could probably, quite frankly, you could probably say it in front of people and they wouldn't hear you. You could probably talk like a narrator and people wouldn't hear you. They wouldn't be paying attention. There's something about when you're making a decision about the new energy you're moving into, it creates a void energy around you. It creates a cavern, if you will, where you just get to talk to yourself and nobody fucking hears it. All right? Again, don't take me literally, just catch my drift. But it's this whole energy here of creating a sounding board. Don't be afraid to talk to yourself. Don't be afraid to bounce ideas off yourself. You think you're bouncing them off yourself, they're echoing off of a void energy. It's like talking in a canyon and the echo, you clap and it claps back, you know, a little bit later. It's a bit of that. But it is a part of you that's responding, okay? And if you start hearing voices, that's different. You should go get a CAT scan. But it's a part of you you get sort of a feeling off of it when it comes back. So you'll say something, I should just go it alone, right? And then the echo of that comes back at you and you feel something. Make note of how you feel. That's what I meant by you're saying the words, but you don't even believe them because of the void energy that's there. That's what I meant, generally speaking. If it feels right, it is right. But you got to say it first to get feelings to come back at you. This is nice. I like these little caverns. These little void energies create sometimes. Sometimes you just get lucky and they're there. In the physical world, for most of you, you're probably going to get bothered a lot. It's going to be one of those energies like my run this morning. It's usually very peaceful. We're by ourselves. You know, there's nobody around. All of a sudden, we come out. There's some lady with a dog, and there's another runner that's zipping by in another direction. There's some chick walking across the street. There's 50 cars turning around the corner. What the fuck? You know, it's a bit of that. All right, so it is what it is. That's your reading. That's where you're at. So, sounding board. It's fine. Do it internally if you want, right? But when you say it, see how you feel afterward. Wait for the echo to come back and see how you feel afterward. All right? And then you'll know where to go. And you know who to take with you as well. You could say, well, I don't want to take so-and-so with me. See how you feel. See how it makes you feel. All right? That's your reading. I hope it was helpful. Good luck.